I am not a financial advisor. These videos are all meant for educational purposes only. All complete Trader Academy videos are my personal opinion and perspective. Trading carries a high level of risk, and all results are your own responsibility. Please always demo first. Hey everybody, welcome back to CT Review. Today is July 1st, Tuesday, 2025. Hope you had a good day and a good month. And if you're not watching the videos, you are sleeping, buddy, because we talked about either coming back down here to push up, or we talked about coming back down here. Why did I mention this? Well, you got liquidity, you have an efficiency with the daily imbalance, and I'm looking for the bigger daily imbalances, right? For the imbalances to be on a more higher time frame, which is the daily, for example. So this is why I'm doing this. And beautiful. I mean, you can't make this up, right? So here's the day before showing what my game plan is. And then let me just show you the execution. We're going to run right into it. We ain't going to play with y'all, because shame on you for 20 people watching this. I mean, to be honest with you, that's a shame. You're snoozing. But the point of this is that when I do daily videos, you can't get a course to teach you, how to trade. It can give you the basic ideas and the understanding, but the real gem and the real teacher is experience, time, chart time, losses, stuff like that, right? That's what's really going to give you the experience to tell you, oh, like for example, in this trade right here, we had some fuckery going on with a shakeout here at first. So what are we doing? The structure is just lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. You get this lower high, you get the lower low. We already had that pre-930. Obviously, this is the area I'm talking about, pre-930. And then we push up. So notice how they didn't tag. Remember, we got this empty gap of price. There's literally no price. It's a void, liquidity void of no price action, right? And then we talked about being a big sell-off. Obviously, the beginning of the month. I said this yesterday. And also a big sell-off in general because of the historical data. So that's why I was giving these examples. So here's me executing on the idea of coming down. I'm waking up and it's already fucking down here. So what am I doing? I have the structure here. They push down with this price action right here, right? So what is it doing up? It's retracing. It's retracing. It's just a retracement, right? And the leg coming down. So it's a lower low to a lower high, right? So very simple. But you get this move up, you get this push up 1, you get this push up 2, you get this push up 3. Look on the 15 minute. Look on the 15 minute, you can see it. So we push up 1, we retrace. Okay, we push up 2, we retrace, and then we push up 3. Now, obviously you had this, so this little guy right here is attached to this whole area. So it's push up 1, this is all the same price action, then it retraces. Ooh, bounces on that level, and it's going to be influential later. That's why it's still on my chart until we leave it. And then we push up, right? We get into the 50% of the opening range gap. You know that you have Powell talking at 9:30. We also have news at 10 o'clock. Obviously, that's to frame the day. So you want to preferably wait till after 10 o'clock. But in general speaking, what do? Well, we come up, get to the 50%. The 10 o'clock news, so shiesty, but hits it right to the 50%. So it comes down. Okay, I got the first imbalance here, all right, and I have this imbalance here, all right, because I was trying to see if it was going to hold it, and then even when it went above, I want to see it reclaim, like in this area here, pushing down. But guess what? It didn't. So I end up taking a loss here. All right, take this loss. I take this sell. Why? Because I'm already trying to get to this guy, this guy, this guy. I'm, you'll see how influential this area is later. You can't miss that, bro. I mean, can't miss that. Projections, go through the projections. Look at the break right here. When we break that, we break and we come up. You see the order flow. You should see this already. But you see the 101.5 is right here. This is the 101.5. So of that projection here, we're already in there at around 8:30. Okay, cool. Then we have the 2 to 2.5 down here, and that's the projection down here. We obviously have the blue. There's not a lot on my chart. It really isn't. I have the blue bullish daily imbalance. I have the present week gap. Fucking can't miss it. And then I have below this pink. Remember this? Remember that? Remember that gap that was all the way to the left, and we talked about it when we reached up here? Well, guess what? We only have a body above on the daily. All right. So on the where's the bearish side? daily candle. All right. And that's maybe what we're doing right now, but also a reason why we're coming down to it. Also, I don't think I mentioned this, but we had this wick here. It's a pretty stupid wick, right? And then that'll also explain the wick that we created today, which I'll say in a second. There's so much to say, but anyways, that's why I projected coming down to here and then buying back up. All right, so where am I at? So, but also in this picture that you can't see, I'm trying to squeeze everything in. There is an imbalance here that we're tagging. So I'm trying to see the order flow like yesterday, very similar. And this is what this logic was here. Okay, so, but you see this blue line? See that blue line? Boom, boom, baby. So that right there is your basic support resistance, right? That's your resistance, support term resistance. This is an auction area. This is where they see this low breaks through. They're coming in there. You see the bodies are, they're trying to act tough there. They come and they create this liquidity right here, right? So that guy right there, there's a lot to talk about. So, oh well, if it's long, because this is fire, and guess what? It's free. So this right here, I'm projecting these down candles, only the bodies, and you see the 1 and a 1.5 right here. Man, you can't make this up. Beautiful setup. Now, all this in between is to set you up. And goofies were sitting here trying to buy this on the internet. Like, I mean, I'm okay with it if you bought it, but I mean, you should understand where the price is really going. And here is proof that I am telling you the day before. Ain't nobody doing that, bro. You know, I'm not trying to beat my chest, but the point is that you're snoozing if you're not watching the video. Anyway, so who knew that it was coming down here? We knew. I knew, right? So what was the point? Up here, you get these, this is a retrace, and you get the drives up. Yes, you get this internal shit, but where is that also? The 75% of the opening range gap, we tag it. So when we tag this right here, so I take a loss right here, right? And it's I was looking for this first imbalance to act as resistance and then us come down. We've already came up and we snapped these guys already here. We rated this liquidity here, and then we snapped here. But I wasn't sure if they wanted to come for these equal highs and this guy right here, these guys right here. Okay, guess what? We push up. Cool. Now, I'm not bullish, obviously. I mean, I'm bullish in the bigger scheme, right? But in the short term, I'm looking for a sell-off. Okay. And the blue line is that low. Look it to the dragged out to the right. So when the price snaps here, okay, when the price snaps here, not only do I see it tag this level, which is the 25% the top, all right, but then we also hit that blue line that I drew. I mean, it's very clear, okay? Tag it, boom. As soon as that shit comes down and these candles pop up, I'm in the trade, period. No thinking. Okay, also I have the 1 on 1.5 going for me, plus that liquidity as well. All right, now that I've said all that, all right, now before I continue, look at the PM sessions first imbalance yesterday. If let me make it perfect. It's gonna be a long video, man. I can tell, but guess what? You ain't gonna get nowhere. You ain't gonna see this nowhere on the internet. Oh, come on. So let me just drag it to show the first imbalance of the PM session. Look at the body sitting in there. Yes, we reach out, okay? But that's the point of what I'm trying to explain, is that that's also going for myself. That's the 50% of the opening range gap is also being used there. Bodies are very, very specific. So I have this candle projected, okay? So I have on the right side of the screen, I have 2 to 2.5, and I have 3.5 to 4. All right, obviously I know this is my area that at minimum that I want to be targeting. Yes, I understand that it can come into here, but it is what it is. I need to squeeze out and make the right trades. Who knows what they're going to do? But anyways, we rush down and break. We pop up right into that first imbalance. You got to look at these details. Yes, there's an imbalance. I didn't draw it, but I didn't need to because I understood this was here. And then you can see that when we get to that, look at the 50% with the gaps included. Look where it is here. So that's why I sold it here, because, you know, I understand the area. But look how we came right to it, and then, you know, that's covering also the bottom 25%. So that's nested in there. There's also obviously an inversion here. I'm not going to go into that, but selling right off from it, right? Beautiful, boom, right there. Boom, coming right to it. Now I'm trying to squeeze it out. Look what would happen. Look what we do. We get into the area. This was my goal, was to get into here. I'm not done with it though. I'm not done with it. Why? Because it's not sealed. At minimum, I know that. And I also understand that the daily imbalance is here. 3.5 to 4 is here. Let's go to the left side of the chart real quick. I also know that there's 2 to 2.5 right here. So I know as I'm screenshot, I'm dipping into that 2 to 2.5, right? But I also understand that this is possible here. But okay, let's go to the next trade. I think I've done a good job explaining it. Before I move over, when we push up here, you see the 2 to 2.5 here, right? And then yeah, we pushed up, and then you can see the projections on the left side. You can see I highlighted this guy right here. I could do this guy right here. I could do this retracement. I could do this retracement, and then you can see me on the right doing this. It's not overkill. If you had nothing on the chart, I mean, someone's going to say, oh, well, you know, it just came for this low. I mean, okay, but you're going to, this low, you don't even know where this low is sitting, number one. Number two, you don't know that the algorithm has not referenced this area because it wants to. I'm blowing through this. I'm getting to this, but I understand that this is possible because of the logical understanding that the algorithm is looking to draw to higher time frame imbalances, right? And liquidity, right? And create new premiums, right? It's all the market is doing. And then, anyways, fair value and all that bullshit. So you see me getting out right here. Beautiful. Let's go to the next trade. Why do I do this? See this? What's that green line? We did it again, just like fucking yesterday. So we blew through it. You see me get out. We popped in. I'm securing profits, by the way. Smart decision, by the way. And what does it do? It retraces back in. Beautiful. Can't miss that. X marks the spot. Why is my trade exactly on the same level as that green line? Because we talked about that being an algorithmic level and buyers and sellers making decisions off of that. And they're using that. All right. And this is clear as day. X marks the spot. Where's my entry? Right on it. You can't make this up. So if I'm selling up here, that's pretty clear that I'm bearish for today. Or for the moment, right? That's very clear. Because if I was to be buying this, wouldn't I be wanting to hold it above? Well, how many people on the internet ain't going to show you this, right? Because this is very, very, very intentional. Okay, anyways, now that I toot my horn, 3.5 to 4. I'm trying to get in there, right? Oh, what am I also doing? I'm trying to seal it. Beautiful. I'm proud of myself today. I mean, I made some stupid losses, but hey, beautiful. Just fucking beautiful. Now we're in a 2 to 2.5. I understand I want to trail it, but hey, look at the time. Early could be a reversal here. I don't know. So we're going to leave that alone and let it probably sink off. Okay. Guess what happens next? You're not going to believe it. But okay, so don't get lost in all this. It's all the same levels, and I'm stagnating this blue bullish daily imbalance on the left just on purpose so we cannot get lost in this. It's a little bit of a mess, but it's art to me. It's fucking art, buddy. Talked about that sell right there. All right, take it into here. Pops in again for another sell. Now here's where it's going to be very clear or fire. See this dotted line? This is Monday's. So when it gapped up, that was the low of Monday. This level right here, which is obviously the high of that pink. All right, this is it's not pink, purple. Sorry, this is purple. This is not purple. This is blue down here. It's just on top of the weekly cap. But very fire. This people make decisions based off of highs and lows of the previous days and shit. So that level right there is the low of Monday. If you take a look at it right here, right, that's the low of Monday, right? It bounces, gets into this, sells from the green line that I just showed you in the trade previously. We get into this lower half quadrant, fire, all right, and then sells down, comes down, well, bounces off to 25% here as well. And then this is a basic break and retest. So break, retest. You had that same going on here, okay? And then this is also a break and retest. Very simple, but on the daily, that's the low of Monday. So we tag it and people make a decision based off of selling this down more. When I buy this, I'm targeting that because I know that there are a million traders. I'm not saying I'm not including me could be a seller here. What I'm saying is that this is their strategy. So we attack that because we understand that how the algorithm moves. Anyway, 25% comes down to the 50. I'm talking about the blue bullish imbalance. It's not a lot of shit. So just follow. Gets to the 50. Any little pullback is a blessing when it's sinking down. It's a sinker. All right, so I'm looking at this as kind of like a pump and a dump in general for the first part of the day. Right, but it's a lower low to lower high. I'm following the flow, and then it's hunting. It's basically hunting liquidity. But anyways, 50 here, and then gets to the 25. I'll get to this in a second here, but you can see that's quadded as well. I got it stagnated to the left. I didn't need that here because I just literally was going for my target, which is obviously. Well, before I get to the target, let's follow it. Comes to this 25, pops up right to the 50. Boom. You got to see these details. Boom, comes to this 50. By the way, it seals now this bullish imbalance. Hits the 50, comes up. I decide to actually take a trade here and try to buy this because I know that we already sealed this and that we were inside this gap. What I'm trying to do is buy it up. The problem with even when I took this buy is that look at the wick. The wick is created on the 4-hour right now. You can't miss it. All right, at the time, it wasn't that big of a wick here. I'm not worried about that. But what I'm saying is that I'll get to that in a second with this trade buying. But this is being a little bit impatient and anticipating a buy, right? So we come in, we get this inversion here, right? Well, hopefully an inversion, but not. It fails. It's just a bearish imbalance, and we're stuck underneath this top quadrant of the discount in the blue bullish daily. Okay, so, and other than that, it fails, comes down. So I'm like, okay, here's a raid. I see this divergence. It was looking great. Take the buy. Because look at the body sitting on the 25%. So it pops up, squeezes. It doesn't break this candle. That's a problem. It needs to break this control of price right here. Right, these are all control of prices. And then quickly it starts coming down. I'm like, fuck, that was the sell. I was supposed to sell this, but that's okay. And the reason why I say that, well, you can actually measure from here to here, this little down last move before it pops up. You'll see it's 1 to 1.5. I deleted it because I saw the 1 to 1.5 and I was like, fuck, it's not going to keep going. So it should have been in the sell, and that's okay. No problem. It shoots and breaks down. Where's it going? I know where it's going. This is a highway here. Straight emptiness. Right, so you're blowing through, and where are you getting 3 drives? 1, 2, 3. Oh, what is that? So if you're watching live price here, you'll see that. Well, obviously the imbalance, the low right here that we're targeting or going to buy from, is what created that daily imbalance. So that's obviously the high of that blue line. But notice the 1-minute candles have not even touched that blue bullish daily imbalance yet, and then boom, you get it right here. See that shit? Can't make this up. So pushes down. I try to get in, retraces back in. I'm in it with this lat. Wicks in, pushes up. I'm fucking good. Pushes all the way up, gets to the center, the 50% of that old gap that I told you. You should be knowing where that is. I'm not going to even tell you where it is. You should know. If you're new, go watch yesterday's video. You see this retracement here, these 2 candles here? I got them. There's a couple things highlighted here, so just hold on. So I'm highlighting this right here, and that's this 1 to 1.5, 2 to 2.5, and 3.5 to 4. See that? I'm also in there, right? I have sniped that little low. We have tapped that daily imbalance. Doesn't mean it's done, but I know we're looking for a buy. In this scenario that I'm looking for, by the way, when it comes down here and it pushes back up, well, don't you understand that other things can change in ideas? First of all, you got to have high quality ideas. I mean, and as you can see, I do, right? And that's what is. But the thing is that I didn't sit here and keep buying it because I don't know if it's going to keep going past this area. Is it going to reverse and then make another leg down? But the push down and the push up to here is something that I was guaranteeing to myself today. I wasn't guaranteeing coming up here though, even though I have this idea, even though we've accomplished more than 50% of this whole idea by coming down and coming up to here, right? You have to be understanding and flexible and not greedy and then whatever. But this it'll explain what I'm trying to say here. So remember, I have my so now I got my targets here. All right. So you saw the projection. See these two candles? I've just highlighted these up two candles, right? That we broke through. 3.5 to 4 is there. All right. Now I have two types of projections here. I have this whole thing down. You can see it. It's hard. You see this line right here? See that level? And the 50 and this bottom level, this 1. So the 1, the 50, and there you go. You see all that? I'm highlighting the bodies only, the whole thing. I want to see if it's going to push up. I want to see it get to 1 and 1.5. That's for future, just in case it does go up. I have it highlighted. And now I have just this highlighted, these 3 down candles. 1, 2, 3. I have that highlighted. See the 0 and the 1. See the 1 and the 1.5. 2 to 2.5. 3.5 to 4. You see that, right? All right. So now I've explained myself. Don't need to go on more detail. I'm buying this, but what's my minimum target right here? I want to get to this guy right here. Why? Well, obviously it's above 2 to 2.5 in this liquidity. And then I have the explanation I just got done telling you, which was when someone made a decision and they bounced underneath as a break and retest, I'm targeting this guy right here. I'm waiting for the price to literally push up above this level. Notice how I don't get out here. Why do I not get out here? I could have got out here, but because of the understanding, I need to see them sweep above. And then I have a potential of this 3.5 to 4 right here. That's why I have it highlighted. Why I have a big circle here? Because just in case it's really bullish, it'll go to that first imbalance and it'll hit the 930. Because this was also very easy once it came below it. Bink. So this is what I'm doing. But guess what? I'm doing this on purpose to show you that I'm trailing the bitch out. Why? Because that's the responsible thing to do. And this is most likely not going to happen today. Or they could pull the rug because also the buying is easy. So anyways, 3 down candles, blue line. You see it highlighted. We come up to the 50% here of that old gap. And then we push back down into this last imbalance, bullish one in the bottom, plus coupled with this inversion. And when I get this wick and it pops up, that's rule number 1 or step number 1 that my trade's working. Then this push above this inversion right here and it closes and seals. That's step number 2. I know my trade's working. And you're going to say, dude, you took the trade right here and sniped it and you pushed it up all the way up here and you allowed it to come all the way back down. Yep. Now, when the price gets all the way down here, my emotions are getting involved and I'm going to say, what the fuck are you doing? Okay. But I've seen this a million times where it'll bounce, push up, and it'll retrace all the way back deep just to get the easy buyers who are pushing here. That's why I'm in here. Okay. But I've got, hey, this is art, bro. This is super confirmation. But anyways, you see how X marks the spot. I'm not worried about it. I'm expecting to come up here. Why? Because I knew the decision that was made here. Plus, it's an equilibrium. From this high to low, even if it's bearish, this is move 1, move 2. Is 2 going to keep going or is 3 going to roll over? And we fucking did roll over a little bit. We'll see what we do. And I was like, man, this is a beautiful trade. But I'm like, I need to fucking walk away. The reason why I take this trade also is because it's the 11 o'clock. It's after the 11 o'clock. So I'm looking for London close. So we're selling off right into London close. Okay. And then I'm expecting a retracement for all the liquidity past 10 o'clock in general speaking, which is obviously all this here at minimum. So that's why I'm buying up. As you see the time frame, look at, so London close, we're retracing, and then lunch is retracing, it's retracing, it's retracing. And notice what time I'm getting out. 14, well, I'm pushing it up to squeeze. I end up getting out like right here. I was trying to see if they ram up one more time. But stop loss is literally at 50% of this first imbalance. I didn't draw it yet. That's for the PM session. We use it as an inversion and we sell off. But the logic is I swept and I accomplished this right here. And if you take a look here, this negative 3.5 right here, you see this right here? You see this level? You see how fucking close we hit to it? That's another reason. Okay, because this was already a blessing in itself to get up this high. Tell me why that is the high of the PM session, and then we sell off. Right, very 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 clear. Hopefully, and remember now we're in 3.5 to 4 down here from this projection here. 3.5 to 4, beautiful. Okay, and then what else am I gonna say here? So I explained that, and you see the 3 drives here, by the way, also on this 15-minute chart. Take a look at the 15-minute chart. Take a look how we don't usually count this first one that pops up. So we pop up, we retrace. We pop up right here, it sells off, retrace, stops, pushes up for the second drive, retraces, but this price action is still next to each other. So it might be 3, but sometimes it's obviously more than 3, so you generally 4. But I had an agenda of coming up here, and then you can see that the drive pushes up one more time. That's what this exit is getting on that last drive. That's why it was a nice sell. But it's the reason why I'm taking this buy, besides the obvious flow of what I'm trying to show and depict, and getting to a mean reversion. Even if you that high to this low, you can see 50% is over here, right? That's just a very logical mean reversion trade. But in general, I'm taking this trade so I can walk away. Meaning that when I take this trade and I'm done like fucking sitting watching the screen all day. This is me riding into the sunset by taking this trade back up. All right. And I'm trailing it. And you can see there, I've already talked about this. You see that imbalance holding. You can see that imbalance holding. And then we bounce right on top of that gap. No one has this on their chart. I guarantee it, but whatever. And then as you can see, I'm not forgetting that this is over here. You can see 50% over here, pretty much. And then you can see us bouncing on it right here. And then for the finale of what I just did, it's not dragged out because I don't want it to be confusing. So I wanted to make sure that you see all this more on a transparent situation, and then you could drag it over and take a look how it worked out. But whatever. But getting above here was the logic here, right? And then get me out, fucking get me out. If it doesn't want to go up, doesn't want to go up. Guess what it did? Obviously, you know what it did by now. That was the high right there. The fucking shot right there. And then right here, right? So that imbalance, we ended up coming below or underneath, and then we used it as resistance and we sold off. They did that to wipe out the easy buyers. So what do we got? We have we'll count it like this: move 1 down, move up 2, move down 3, move up 4. So does it keep going, or does this turn into move 5? Well, so far it's kind of looking like 5. It came down. That's a move. 5, 6. I'm not going to get into that, but 5 coming down. Is this 5 going to keep coming down, or was it still 4 pushing up on the larger scale? Okay. We don't know. Obviously, it's just sitting in here. And here is the reason why I'm also getting out of the trade and not trying to hold up and making a responsible decision, because that stupid ass 4-hour wick. See that big 4-hour wick right there? When the next 4-hour candle's coming, which is the 2 o'clock, which is why I'm showing you how I got out here and squeezing it to see if it was going to go up. There's a high likely chance that we dip back down, even if it's bullish, to get into that wick. So that is also something a course can't teach you. That's experience. But when I do these daily videos, you get to learn my experience. So again, something that a course can't teach. But in general, that was the point of the decision here, and sure enough, it went into it. And I'd be pissed off if I was holding that, right? I mean, if you're a swing trader, maybe a little different conversation, but done for the day. Walk away. Smooth, bro. Real smooth. This obviously pretty ugly at first, but if you had the right logic, beautiful, beautiful buy. To be honest, really beautiful sell here. And then let me move forward because I'm going to talk my ass off here. 30 minutes already. All right, so dollar's just still sinking, helping out with the understanding of us buying in the bigger picture, right? Also decisions here to take the sell out By the way, I told you about sweeping this liquidity right there. Yeah, I told you about that. This is also a lower high. We have higher highs here with Dow and S&P. So this is me selling this down. Okay, we get down here. Why am I buying it? Well, very clear. Higher lows here. Look how dirty they get close. Look how dirty that is. I'll be honest with you, Nas was really smooth today. And then we also had higher lows here. So higher lows, so lower lows, pushed it up, done for the day. Don't care what they do. Was anything helpful? I don't really see any. Oh yeah, well, that was probably right there. Would have been a nice sell here as well. Is why where am I? Here. Here you got lower highs here. See that? And then you had higher highs here. See that? So boom, pushed it off real quick. But anyways, fire. Who wants to fire? And told you about that gap. And then Dow pushing right for it. I mentioned it and I said, I'm not even going to draw it yesterday. And sure enough, we're closing above that gap because we had a down candle. That's why I like to see us stay below our gap. So down candle only, and then now here's your up candle. I don't even have to draw it. So fire. Said this yesterday. S&P creeping up and pretty. I don't know. Not moving too much here, but that's why I trade NOS. And but in general, it's small ranges, and that's what was frustrating. That's why trading has been very frustrating in these past weeks and months, is because of the ranges, or recently, I should say, more recently. 50 to 100 points is you're lucky to get 150 to 200 points. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's been a 50 to 100 point range market. So and then trying to understand to stay in that sweet spot. And then obviously a news catalyst and range mover, right, is a mover. But anyways, this is sloppy. Ugh, just sloppy, dude. Yo, I'm trying to tell you, that's why I trade NOS. And anyways, you can see the daily candle here. Boom, right to it, tags it, sell, and buys back up. All right, so what else? Oh, there's Nvidia. Also, that's what I was saying when we were getting these higher lows, higher highs and higher lows in little small range. And I referenced, if you watched yesterday's or the day before that, even I'm saying where was the high here? And then if you looked, we sort of bounced here, and then you're probably like, dude, just draw it. But I don't want to draw it, to be honest with you. But the purpose of me doing this is to say, well, when we birdied up like this, you expect a sell-off. It's the AMD of the month, especially, and very likely to sell off. Also, what was the big cards for selling off? And I was saying that I've been saying this shit, but if you looked at bonds, they were also selling off. They were on a roof and they were selling off. And then that was pretty clear. There was nothing else to say with that. And then as far as the majors goes, also Meta was selling off. Google was fucking selling off. And then, what's it called? Microsoft selling off. Apple was hanging in there, but also for originally selling off. And then Tesla was sinking. And then Amazon was originally selling off and then started to buy up when I started buying up. So, and then they all started to kind of buy up when I was buying up as well. But that's a simple flow there. And let me see. I think I'm not missing anything here. And then again, see, and if you were wondering, you're like, dude, show me that gap. I'm a new guy. Well, see that gap right there? There's literally no price action inside from there to there. No candles, I'm sorry. So that's why they want to keep this probably low, and then we'll probably continue up. Now, as far as the buying, to continue buying back up, if I'm going to give you this scenario, because obviously when I gave the example of it pushing down here and then buying back up, well, when we get to here, it's very possible that it doesn't keep going and it sells off. So you have to be able to be flexible. So let's just say if we're bearish, and not bearish like in the, I don't mean large scale, but like if we need to retrace any more, then you might get 3 drives here, right? Like it might one more time, some shit like this, and then pop up, and then look for all-time highs. This is if we're buying. I'm giving you the buying example. Coming any lower with NFP, then I'm gonna, who knows? I'm gonna stretch it here because I'm gonna say these equal lows here. That's a daily imbalance. Maybe they want to tap into that, right? And this is the buying example. If this, if it doesn't come any deeper or any lower than this low, because now it's suspect, they kind of equal lows. Looks like they're setting that up for NFP. Then I'm going to expect it to rate it again, and then pop up. Seal this most likely. Maybe tag this top 25%. We'll see. I don't know, obviously, and I don't care, because this is where we are now. Or again, if it doesn't do that, then we're just buying above this high, like we're buying from here, type of shit. So, and we're just we go up, okay. All right, and I did the higher time frame projections in the video yesterday. That's why I was long, and this is also long, so it's hard to not do anything. And then if we're bearish, which, hey, I don't know, anything's possible, bro. Then, so I don't know. I'm just talking here, but then we want to come in deeper into this area. Let me see. Am I missing something here? Like to this, but I can't go that far, especially with July. So July is a very huge bullish month on all years of historical data. So we got that sell off. I'm expecting it to be just still bullish. I'm bullish, just so you know. But even though I wanted it to come down and take out liquidity, I was still bullish, right? All right, so 36 minutes. Yeah, man. So also this summer, I feel like is going to be really ugly, really choppy. Hopefully July, it's really smooth and they just keep pushing. And then we'll expect some ugliness more in August, because for me, August and September are very tough and suspect. So we'll take it from there. Some people are not even trading these months, so take a vacation and blah blah blah. So I think I've said enough, though, right? Yeah, just fire, and you can't, like I said, guys, you can't make this up. You know what I'm saying? You just can't make it up. Oh, another thing I saw in price action was this. Look at the 15-minute. Look at the high here. Inside this wick, at 50% is almost where the bodies are. See that? Very logical. And you have to be able to see these details. See that? So 3.5 to 4. Push up to 2 to 2.5. Coming down to 3.5 to 4. Pushing up to almost 3.5 to 4 here. I don't have it highlighted on the 15-minute chart. I'm going to delete this because for now, it doesn't look like it's kind of panning out, but maybe this will be more clear for you here. And smart decisions. Smart decisions. Just smart decisions is really what's key, and not to get chopped up too much pre-market. As you see there, beautiful, but they're tagging it, fucking. It's just a retrace. You obviously don't know how many drives, but you're looking for algorithmic levels. Obviously here, the 10 o'clock news though, bink. Just you got to pick your poison, but is to minimize these small losses and then have the good idea generation. And these are all weekly. That's a weekly level. We're bouncing on that weekly level again. Obviously, I know we did that there, but also that was an easy buy. So that's why I gave the example of coming down here and buying back up, right? But yeah, that range from here to here is just so it could do a number of things. That's why when you get to this type of up here with the all-time high, we can get a rejection, but most likely, like when we come up, we get close, we sell off because of the late buyers. Then we push back up, and people know that it's buying. This is bullish. So you could wait all fucking year for something like this and hammer it, and boom. And then that's why they pull it back, because they know that everyone is trying to buy here. So they come back and get you. Now, if it was an explosive move up with a bold candle like this and it's solid, then then it's like now we go into a different experience level. And just like if you went back into like NQ here, where like right here, if you look at the high here of 22, I think this is 22, 21, end of 21 or whatever for NASDAQ. Let's look at that right there. You see, like here's an example of kind of what it's doing now. Like we get to it, we gap, and at this point they're pushing up, they speaker out, and then they retrace back for the gap and for the late buyers, and then it ends up being the low, like of the year or whatever, not low of the year, but low of this price action, and then it continues to constantly fucking buy up since then. That's why you'll notice that when we sold off on this bullshit, where did we come to? Well, we came to that gap, and we also came to these guys here because this is a very this where we are right now is very similar to where we are right now. That right there is very similar to where we are right now. So everybody and their mama is trying to buy that, and that's why they give you the bullshit Fed Powell talking and all this garbage, right? So and talking about Fed rates cutting or not, and now they're saying he's trying to hint that there should be one this year, but I don't see it happening in this month, and that's just the bullshit, right? So but that's kind of the idea, and I've over talked 41 minutes, damn. Now no one's gonna watch it, huh? And you know what? I don't really care, bro. Because at this point, I've traded on $100,000 to $200,000 account with my 4 contracts, and then I've traded to $25,000 to $30,000 with a 1 contract. So you have now seen me do all that, right? And you saw both ways of trade. It's just they're the same trades, right? But obviously, when you have more contracts, you're more inclined to maybe take more profit off or quicker because you're okay with the money, right? But at the same time, they're all the same trades. So you've seen both of that, and now I have talked too much. But what else? I mean, what else can I say, man? I feel like I'm missing something, but if you're still struggling or losing in trading, which I'm pretty sure a majority are, if that's the case, then you have to take these type of trades that I'm implementing or showing. Or obviously you see what the setups are, or certain levels are. Me, I think my superpower is having the right levels on my chart, also with the great idea creation, because of the fact that you have to have that, right? But I mean, if someone was gonna say, oh well, it just came right back to that low and bought up. I mean, if it's gonna be that naive and simple, fine. I mean, it's okay, turtle soup, it's a raid, fine. And you're looking to buy back up, right? Okay, that's cool. But, I mean, you're missing so much clarity, in my opinion. And, yeah, you get analysis paralysis with this. Is so much on the fucking chart. I get it. But, someone will say, well, just have the daily inefficiencies and the liquidity, and that's good enough. And that's fine. I like to see everything clear. I like to see it, watch it run through it. I mean, you can see it running through everything on my chart algorithmically. You can see that, and I'm going to. And I left it there just so I can explain that now. On this side, you can see it hits the 50 there in the middle. And then you can see right here. Boom, we end up buying right there. See that? And that's not all coincidence. Doesn't see the 25% with this imbalance? The imbalance is literally the same level. That's algorithmic. The buyers and sellers didn't make that 25% level from fucking months ago and then make an imbalance today to be 50% to be the same exact level. Like, dude, you see what I'm saying? Like, you'll see it, everything nested together. And the logic here was just super far. How did that move? That wasn't here. That was the guy right there, because that's that daily low of Monday. See that? And then right over here, we're breaking retest situation. So very, very fire. You guys take care and God bless.